Hello, wonderful people. I am Micka, MC, content creator, and media personality in Vietnam. In the Micka Show, we highlight practical methods for a meaningful impact on our personal and professional life. Thank you for joining us today, and let the show begin. Denise, you are an entrepreneur, CEO of Tyde Consulting, certified trainer with PCM, Process Communication Model. Yeah. To me, you embody soft power, confidence, and love. And I'm so happy to have you today on the show. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you so much for having me, Micka. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Oh. Denise, I want to ask you, because to me, you're a manifestation of what is true and effective communication is. I'm gonna explain to you that later, guys. But can you tell us your definition on what is an effective communication?
For me, effective communication is the tool that will help you build relationships, is the fuel of relationships. Relationships is a give and take, right? Mm-hmm. You give, you take, you give, you take, you give love, you take love. This is how you have a trust base and a long lasting relationships. And I think that communication is healthy and effective when you don't project your stress on others, when you don't seek the validation of others, like you don't ask them their attention. Mm-hmm. You're not dependent on them. For me, healthy and effective communication is really about the quality of your relationships that you build with people.
Wow, I'm just in admiration right now. That's so beautiful. And what do you think we can do right here, right now, our audience at home? What can they do practically to improve their communication skills?
I think the first thing is to take a break. Take a break and reflect on yourself. Go for a walk, breathe, and ask yourself, how is my communication? On a scale from 0 to 5, how much would I put on the quality of my communication? Then you, on the same scale from 0 to 5, decide what is the ideal rate, and then define how you're going to achieve that goal. So for example, I was a 2 and I wanted to reach a 4 out of 5. And what I did is I learned the process communication model. I put out all the toxic people of my life. I spent time with the people that I choose, that I like, that really help me to grow. I follow my gut more, and I work on my self-esteem.
Wow, that's so many practical advices and details. I love it. And at the beginning of this episode, I said to me, you embody what is healthy and effective communication. Because you guys should know, me and Denise, we had already shooting together. It went great, but I was not satisfied with the final result of the communication. So I blocked. I didn't want to share about this episode. And Denise, you reached me out and you asked me, what's the problem? Why don't you want to share about this shooting we had together? I was like, Mom, I just don't feel like doing because I'm not satisfied with the outcome. And you said, all right, I'm going to take care of the communication online. And you did the whole story, a whole banner. And I was just so amazed. I was like, oh my God, such an easy, like daily situation where we think that the dialogue is not there, that I didn't want to talk, to open up about my perception of the situation. And you just came, bang, fix the problem. So my question is, when we have these situations when the dialogue seems to be off, when it's hard to talk, how do we restart the dialogue again?
So this situation for me was a conflict. There was a problem, a misunderstanding. There was a misunderstanding between two people, and I was in the middle because there was the owner of the podcast, there was you, and there were me, who all spent time and effort on this episode. Yeah. So what I did is I took a break, I stepped back, and I analyzed the situation. And what is very important in relationships is to set boundaries. And here I analyzed each people's boundaries. So for the owner of the podcast, he he spent time and effort, like it's been years that he has this podcast, and he knows what he wants. He knows what he needs for this podcast. He knows that he is a very logical, organized, and responsible person, and he really sets and protects his boundaries. And he's totally right. He's totally right with it. I mean, there is no problem with that, right? For you, you're a creative, spontaneous, and playful person. You're a public figure. You know what you want to project to your audience. You have a big audience already. You're an influencer. And if your image that you share is not the same or in the same vibe as what you normally share, then your community will be like, oh, I don't understand what is happening, right? So the thing is that, and it's totally right for you also. You were right in your position because you have your own interests, right? And for me, being in the middle, like I spent time to go to the interview, to prepare the interview, and I didn't want to have my time wasted. So what I did is that since there was a conflict, I built a bridge and made my best to create a common ground between all those boundaries and expectations from us three.
Wow, and that was very efficient.
Exactly. It was efficient, and I think the secret to that is that I had my own interest of achieving my own goal, which is I wanted this episode to be published and spread by all the people, all the stakeholders of this episode. And I wanted you to share it also because you have a big audience. And I made it happen. I spent time and made sure that everybody is on the same ground. I made the visuals. I talked to the owner of the podcast. I talked to the owner of the podcast in private saying, hey, if there is the logo, is that okay? Getting his validation. And then everybody published it.
I think it's so nice to be able to talk about something at the beginning negative, but you show me like the way in this situation, and now we're capable of talking this. And that's maybe the reason why we're here talking about communication, because it's something very practical. And through your advices and through this experience, your point of view really show us that it's in the here and now. And if we take a little bit of distance, we are capable to rearrange things.
Exactly. And the idea here was to make a conflict constructive.
Yeah.
And create value together and create positive value together.
Best conflict ever. And I was wondering, Denise, in this process, you mentioned PCM. I had done the questionnaire. We're going to come back at later, but why have you chosen this method in your coaching, in your trainings?
So I chose this method because it's the only model on the market that I know which doesn't put people into boxes.
I'll show it to you guys. That's how it looks like, the whole report. So Denise, why have you chosen to work with this method and not another one?
It's the only one that is scientifically validated and also the one that is very positive. So it's not about weaknesses or strength. It's everybody has strength and everybody needs to collaborate together in order to create value. And so in PCM, there are 6 different personality types that we all have within us. That means that we can all adapt to each other if we want to. And we are all born with one base. It's the most natural personality type. And this we call a base. And the base determines your natural strength, your preferences in communication, meaning in the word, in the nonverbal communication, but also in the environment that you prefer to communicate with. And also
it's an amazing tool.
It's an amazing tool.
It is.
It's an amazing tool that really helps to turn conflict into constructive conversations, because in the previous example, what we talked about with the owner of the podcast and yourself, you have 2 different bases.
True.
Yes. He has strength that you don't have. And I have strengths that nobody has also. Yes, so we complemented each other and we collaborated together.
Can you tell us a little bit more so about these 6 bases? So I have it here. I know. So without any surprise, I am a rebel. But there are other personalities that are thinker, imaginer, persister, harmonizer, and promoter. Can you briefly tell us what are the characteristics of the 6? So you guys at home can try to guess which one you are until you do the questionnaire. Yes.
So the people who are born with the thinker base are the one who are logical, responsible, and organized. The people who are born with the persister base are the one who are dedicated, observant, and the people who are born with the harmonizer base are warm and caring. The people who are born with the rebel base are creative, spontaneous, and playful. The people who are born with the imaginer base are the people who are calm, reflective, and have a big imagination. And the people who are born with the promoter base are charming, adaptable, and persuasive.
Exactly. That's very correct. I have the document here, and Denise. So I've done the questionnaire. You analyzed what is my nature, my need in life. You can guys also see some like warnings, I can say, regarding your personality. Like for example, it's easy for me to lack of attention, to not be focused anymore. So my question is like, once we have all of this information in our hands, what can we do? What should we do?
What I recommend you to do, and everybody who takes the PCM questionnaire, is to keep in mind your stress signals. As I said before, unhealthy and ineffective relationships are the ones where you project your stress on others. And actually, according to PCM, we spend 70% of our time in stress.
Wow.
Because our needs are not satisfied positively. So it's really important that you keep in mind your stress signals or your warnings. And whenever there is one of them or all of them which are blinking, then take a break for 5-10 minutes or how many minutes that you need, and care about yourself. Just try one action of the self-care action plan that is recommended into the profile, and see what works, what doesn't work. Explore all the action and suggestions that are offered in this profile, and find maybe improvements or maybe actions that you really, really liked. And this is how I think you can make the most out of this profile. And if you want to go beyond observing your own self and your own stress and caring about yourself, then you can get trained into PCM and understand how you can manage expectations, how to motivate others, how to lead others, how to inspire them. Just get trained.
This is hard.
Yes.
Wow. All right. And I have another question for you, Denise. How can we use the PCM in both business and personal situations?
So for me, I will talk about my personal case because that's the best case that I know. So I saw the benefit of PCM in both my personal and my professional life. In personal life, I know myself better. I care about myself better. I have less stress. I understand people better. I know how to convince them whenever I need to convince them. And I don't take things personally anymore. I used to take everything personally, like, and blaming myself because something was wrong. This person told me no. That means that I am the problem. I am the mistake. I made a mistake. I shouldn't do that. But the thing is that you are worth, I am worth. And there is no question to be asked about this. And so personally, it really helped me to enhance and improve my life. And professionally, I'm better with my team. I know how to engage them, how to recruit the right people in my team, how to motivate them, how to engage them over time, how to observe them whenever they are under stress or not. And also, it really helped me to improve my sales performance by convincing more and more clients to buy my training programs.
So who should do the PCM questionnaire according to you?
According to me, everyone. Everyone should take the PCM questionnaire because we are all humans and we are all suffering in some way of relationships we have with others, and we need, I think, to make everything clear, and because positivity is a choice. If you want to have a positive life, you have to choose it, and you have to make everything that is in your power to move towards it.
That's smart. My mom has a quote. She always say, you have to choose either you want to be right or you want to be happy. I prefer to be happy. It's more fun. Denise, I have one last question for you. It's more general. We take a little bit of distance from communication, but I'd like to ask you, according to you, what can we do daily to improve the quality of our life?
I think that the secret to have an improved life is to give back love. For example, I was invited to a private dinner at the chef's table the other day, and it was amazing. And one of my love language is through food. So whenever you give me food, I feel the love. And here I really wanted to give back this love. So his name is Chef Chi. He's one of the runner-up of MasterChef Vietnam, and he built like a private dinner that is amazing, that is super creative. It was a fusion menu between Brit classics and Middle East, and it was super creative. And I wanted to give back by sharing it to my friends and creating a Facebook post so that my community knows about it, that there is this offer and it's all about love.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's so inspiring. And it just seems so easy. Like the same way at the beginning of the episode, you tell us effective communication starts with taking a break, like just to reflect on ourselves. Here's like being happy and positive just starts with like giving back this happiness. So it's I really appreciate your approach with both communication and life because it's very practical and it's easy. And we can do it right here, right now, send a nice message to give back some love, take some reflection from a situation where we could not find a way. And if you guys are more curious as well, try to find out more about PCM, do the questionnaire. It's really worth it. It's a good, I think it's a good investment for both, like you said, personal and business sides in our lives. So that was, thank you, Denise, so much. It was very, very interesting and very practical chat with you today. I want to wish you a lot of success to you, to Tyde Consulting, and I hope we'll have some other projects together.
Me too. Thank you so much for inviting me. Have a good day.
And we can find you where? Where can we find you?
Yes, we can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Everywhere. Name it. Even TikTok.
Even TikTok? We're colleagues now. All right. That's good. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you so much.